What's here, y'all? Welcome back to Right at the Wire. Well, as part of our daily stakes plays at Saratoga, we're going to talk about Friday's featured race, and that is the Yaddo Stakes, formerly the Yaddo Handicap. Ungraded at 150,000, ninth race on the Friday card. Running a mile and the 16th on the inner turf for 3-year-olds and up, New York breds, fillies, and mares. Full field of 12. Interestingly enough, we've got a fair amount of speed in here, but most of them are pretty vulnerable. And that makes for an interesting scenario, I think. And certainly, I don't think any one of them is going to be able to get away. And the pace, I think, might be perhaps a little bit more spirited than any one of them would like. And certainly, that's going to set things up for later runners, I think, when looking at the race shape as a whole. Taking a look at them, Bernie Takes Charge. This is one they've been trying to get on turf for a while. It's had to scratch 3 times over the last month, a couple times because main track only. But this one's coming off a career high effort on the dirt at a mile and an eighth. And my sense is that even with a little bit of a layoff that this one's had, and I think a regression is probably likely. Turf doesn't appear to be the best surface for Bernie Takes Charge either. And the presence of the other speed in here, I think, is going to make it very difficult for Bernie Takes Charge. So I'm going to let her go. Spinning Colors just ran a monster race last time and just got edged by Ozara. It was a really nice effort. I think Spinning Colors probably ran a little quicker than she wanted to. Her better efforts are when she can obviously lead them on a merry chase and keep the pace very moderate. I think that was the race they were pointing to. It appeared to be because you did get a peak effort from Spinning Colors. Certainly in decent enough form, but I do have a feeling if you look at her pattern that a regression is probably likely. And the presence of the other speed, I think, is going to make it very difficult for Spinning Colors to take them all the way. So I'm going to let her go as well. Being Betty just isn't good enough, in my opinion. Silver Skillet, I'm going to throw in the mix. Now, I will say right off the bat, I don't like the work tab. There's been a significant gap between works for Miguel Clement, but his barn is going well, and I certainly don't think he would put Silver Skillet in the race unless she was ready to run. It should be pretty fresh. This is one who's been kind of settling for minor awards, but I've always liked this horse, and I think the fact that you've got some vulnerability on the front end should keep Silver Skillet in the mix, and provided that she runs a peak effort or a good effort, she should be able to stay in the mix. I'm not real confident with her as a win candidate, but I think is one certainly can factor given the vulnerability of the others and the fact that she's a little fresher. So we'll use Silver Skillet, likely to get a pretty decent price. Moon Age Daydream certainly makes sense. This is one that pretty much dominated the New York bred division last year, but hasn't run since October. So obviously you have that as a concern. It is nice to see Flavian Pratt come back aboard. Logically, they've had a really good track record together. But it is quite a bit of a layoff, and we certainly always have to factor that in. Jorge Abreu is pretty good with long layoffs, so I'm not going to worry terribly much about it. What I am concerned with is because there is so much other early pace that perhaps that's going to make things a little troubling for Moon Age Daydream to sort of settle and get into a good rhythm for the finish. So we're definitely going to use Moon Age Daydream, but I'm not confident in her ability to come off the bench from that long and take it, because this is a pretty salty field as well. First time in forever, and She's Artiz, not good enough. Neither is Burnt Again. I had a little bit of thought about Burnt Again because I had a decent enough third last time, but I think in comparison to the rest of the field, I can't do it. So I'm going to let her go. Midnight Concerto as well, and we'll just talk about the last 3. Awesome Check is a horse for the course, and I think coming from off the pace certainly improves her chances, and what I perceive to be some vulnerability from Moon Age Daydream Uh, and so, there's no reason not to include Awesome Check, and I think has a very good chance. And the price should be pretty square, so we'll use her for sure. Sterling Silver is kind of a wild card for Bill Mott. Moving this one to turf for the first time, I believe. It is second off the layoff for Bill Mott, which is always a good angle. Ran in a 7 furlong race on dirt last time. Uh, I just don't know. I look at the pedigree and I don't see a whole lot of turf. The mare does have a turf winner, so this one, class wise, is certainly a fit. It's just moving to turf for the first time. Um, it is Bill Mott. That probably makes me a little more interested than perhaps I would be with a horse doing something for the first time. Uh, so we're going to put Sterling Silver in the mix, and certainly is a wild card. And this is the kind of race where, because you've got some vulnerability amongst the more prominent horses, that this is one maybe an upgrade, and you can certainly take a shot with. So we're going to use Sterling Silver. I've settled on Brock Nardini, and I think this is a long shot, and I think this is the perfect type of race to go for it. I remember very distinctly last year Brock Nardini's debut at Saratoga at a mile and a 16th on the turf. It was a pretty good maiden race, and as I recall, and the field was pretty deep with Chad Browns and Todd Pletchers and whatnot, and Brock Nardini beat them all. And I always remember that race. Now you fast forward to the last one. Brock Nardini, I mean, has been kind of hit or miss over the course of her career, but that last race, she was handridden in the stretch, and all I could think about, now I'm not comparing the two, let me be very clear about that. I thought about Nitrogen in the Ginger Brew, because that's exactly what Nitrogen did. I couldn't believe in the stretch they just hand rode that horse past everybody, and that's pretty much what Brock Nardini did in the last race. They got into the stretch. He was so patiently ridden. It was clear there was plenty of horse, and just let loose and never went to the whip. That to me is a premium effort. This one's coming in. You're definitely going to get a price. So in a field where there's some vulnerability, and I think it's a good time to try to beat Moon Age Daydream, we'll go for it with the long shot with Brock Nardini. So we look at our wagering strategy. We'll go with the 6 on top at a price, and then we'll do our exactas. I do believe Awesome Check would probably be a logical second choice to me. So we'll do 6-2 and 2-6. We'll Dutch that, leveraging with the 6 on top. And then we'll do a key box as a saver with 6 on top with 1, 9, and 10. Trifecta, keep it real simple. 6 on top with 1, 2, 9, and 10, and hope for the best. I just think it's that type of race where you've got a shot. So we'll do so with a price, with a late runner, with speed to run to, in Brock Nardini. Hope our analysis helps you with your own wagering strategy. I wish you the best of luck as always. And certainly if you do like content like this, please like and subscribe. And again, thanks so much to all of you who continue to grow the community. Continue with the great comments. I'm a broken record, but I love the input. I just think you guys are really creating a very nice community for me and for yourselves. And so you're to be commended, and I thank you. Please keep it up as we go through the rest of the thoroughbred season. We're going to have plenty of coverage on Travers Day. We will have our full card selections on the website, rightatthewire.com. We will have the late pick 5 sequence. We will probably have some individual posts on some of the races on Travers Day. There are 6 graded stakes races, so it's going to be a great race card, and I'll be there to take it all in. So as I always say, if you do see me, please stop and say hello. I'd love to talk with you. So that's it from here. I'll talk to you soon, and until then, be well.